Hi, it's Gareth Hollis again. Welcome to episode 8 of Everything You Never Needed to Know About Me. I hope it's episode 8 and not episode 9. Getting a bit lost now, actually. So, it's the sort of thing I should have really researched. So, trigger warning again, still not talked about depression or suicide or assault. I'm using a random number generator, so at some point they will come up, but I don't know when. But you have been warned. Okay, so first number is 42. So 42. Oh, the law. So I don't know how good or bad you all are. I did warn you sort of certainly early on that not everything I have to say is positive, and this is one of those examples. So a few things. I mean, there's nothing bad, but so when I was younger, I want to say about 12, I thought I was cautioned. Apparently, it's probably more of a warning than a caution. I don't understand all the legalities of it. So I was in an old petrol station, a place that I thought was just abandoned. I mean, it was abandoned, but essentially I thought it was just left to that it wasn't wanted anymore, and didn't realise that actually a place like that is still worth quite a lot of money. And so there was a few, maybe half a dozen of us, and we were going in there sort of as a den, and that it was just where we used to hang out, really, just in this old petrol station. Anyway, the police came one day, and so got told about. I say told about because I don't know if it was cautioned or not, but breaking and entering, trespassing, vandalism. There was a fourth one. I can't think what it was now. But essentially, so breaking and entering, we didn't break and enter. The door was open. Theft was the other one. But we didn't steal anything, so there was no theft. We didn't vandalise anything. I mean, it was in a bit of a sorry state of repairs anyway. But yeah, that wasn't from us. And trespassing was the only one that actually I felt we deserved. That, yeah, okay, we shouldn't have been there. We maybe didn't really understand we shouldn't have been there, but that was the only one really that was fair. But I say nothing came of it. As far as I know, there's no paperwork or anything, so I say it's probably just a warning rather than a caution. I think it's called urban exploring these days anyway, and I don't know what the law is on it. I see enough videos of people doing it, so it can't be that bad. When I was about 18-ish, no, older than that, no, about 19 or 20, I got arrested for leaving a petrol station without paying. This one was a complete misunderstanding. It was the middle of the night, and I'd gone and got fuel. I was driving from Leicester to Horncastle at the time in my little Fiat Panda, and pulled up to get some petrol. Only put a £5 in, because in those days a £5 was, still got you a decent amount. We're talking 20 years ago-ish here. And I waited ages to pay. And after a while, I thought, well, there's no one here. And I looked around, there was CCTV, so I thought, okay, well, I'll just put my money on the counter and go then. I think it was like the early hours of the morning at this point. And I think what had happened is just as I'd left, then the guy came back in and saw me driving off and just called the police saying I'd left without paying. So I don't think it was much longer than that, maybe 10-15 minutes, and I got pulled over, and then arrested and taken into the police station, and I was kept there for about half an hour. They took my belt, they took my shoelaces, but essentially I wasn't there long, because it didn't take long for them to realise that actually I had paid after all, and they let me go. I think they said at the time it was like their shortest arrest period, but I don't know if that was true or not. So I've been pulled a few times driving as well. So first time, I think it's the first time, dangerous overtaking. I was stuck behind this car for ages, and for those of you who know Lincolnshire, there's not many places really where you can safely overtake, and the place I chose in the end to overtake was one of those not really safe to overtake places. It just so happened the car coming the other way was a police car. So I got past the cars, and I realised the police car was probably turning around, so I pulled down a side street and turned my lights off, and I wasn't quick enough, and they got me, but it just gave me a bit of a telling off more than anything else. Also, driving through Horncastle, I'd been probably very early 20s at the time. In fact, before that, yeah. So this is in the Panda again. Got pulled over because apparently my music was too loud, which I've never heard of that happening before, but I'm guessing I'm probably not the first one. That was in the Fiat Panda again, and I remember the tune was Groove Armada Super Styling, which actually is a tune you don't hear on the radio enough these days. Harley. Oh, sorry. I've got a special guest today. I've got my little sausage, miniature Dachshund sausage dog. Harley. Oh, Harley. So this is Harley. She is about 12 weeks old now. So, and she's already got massive in the time that we've had her. Like, compared to what she's tiny. I'm not really a dog person. In fact, I'm going to talk about that later. But I am definitely a Harley person, aren't I? And I feel like I'm her favourite human, but I might just be believing what I want to believe. There we go, mate. So, oh great, I lost my page now. Oh no, it's that one. So got pulled for that, for the music. Also got pulled another time, maybe a year or so later, in pretty much exactly the same place actually. Driving through town, and I had I don't know if you've seen Fast and Furious, you know the cars had the neons underneath, the green underglow. I had some of those on my Citroen in red, and I had Night Rider lights as well on the front. Driving around with those on. Police car sat in the car park, and it pulled me over. At the time it pulled me over, I still had them on because my thinking was, if the shops can sell these, then surely they're legal, and that was obviously explained to me that was not the case. Got pulled in Germany for drive. I was in my camper, and I had an A-frame on, and I was towing an MGF I'd been given for free, and the police pulled me over because they didn't think it was legal, and they actually, I don't know, it was probably about 10-15 minutes I was sat there while he was on the phone to someone else, or on the radio, trying to assess the legal situation of this. And then he came back, asked me a few questions like, why am I towing it? Is the car MOT'd and taxed and road legal? It's just the fact that it's not working, and that, to my knowledge, that was the case. It turned out it wasn't. But at the time, my understanding was that yes, it is all these things. It's just the gearbox is broken on it. So I now know as a result that if you're towing on an A-frame, the car has to be taxed, MOT'd, insured, completely road legal. But I didn't know this at the time. But no dramas as it turned out for that occasion. And also in Germany, speeding. Got caught twice in the space of a week by the same speed camera. Just coming around a bend, and there's suddenly coming into a 30-mile-an-hour limit, or a 50-kilometre-an-hour limit as they have in Germany. Around the bend, speed limit, speed camera straight away got me. because I didn't know the roads well enough. It got me again a week later, and the first time I got a €100 fine, and the second time it was just over €200 and a 30-day ban for driving in Germany, which was a pain, but we were only like 5 minutes from the border with Holland, so it wasn't the end of the world. We just came back to the UK for a few weeks, so my wife drove until we got over the border, and then I took it from there. And we used to have a Passat that we'd painted up to look like the Bluesmobile, so like an old American police car. Got pulled in that a couple of times. Not me personally, this was my wife, who thought it was funny to keep putting the lights and the sirens on at inopportune times, but she was only about 18 or 19 at the time. So I got pulled a few times in that, well, she did. And also, we had a different Passat that were modified and like put nice wheels and lowered the suspension and did all these other things. It was a nice car to start with. It was the Highline, so it had leather interior and things like that. We put tinted windows on it and nice exhaust and loads of other things. Anyway, as we were moving back to the UK from Germany, she got stopped coming off the ferry because the police decided that it was too nice a car for someone her age to be driving. And that in itself is fine. In fact, it's probably a good thing. It just annoyed me that I was in my VW camper. Then they didn't pull me over for having such a nice van, and for also obviously looking very young. So why didn't they get me? Am I not young enough? Am I not pretty enough? Anyway, that's that number done. On to the next one. No, it's frozen. Number 6. Alright, number 6 is suicide. That's not going to be a particularly quick one, so I'm going to save that for the next episode, and at least I can have that with a trigger warning. So, actually a nice short one for you this time. Thank you for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Alright, love you and leave you. Bye bye.